What's going on, boys? No guys here. Welcome back to another video. Now in today's video we're going to go over the 5-2-1-2, a more attacking formation than the 5-3-2, a superior formation. So why is it superior? Well, just as normal, you have the left back and right back, you have them flying forward. You create this five attacker line, should I say, which makes it possible for your opponent to defend. The fullbacks are basically unmarked. So why the 5-2-1-2 over the 5-3-2, might be saying? Well, the difference is in the 5-2-1-2 you have Eto, a cam, or whoever you have in that position, you can put him on stay forward. That means when you get the ball back, you create this 3v2 situation up against your opponent's back two centre backs. That way when you're going forward, it's much easier for you to attack. As I mentioned, the 3-5-2, this is a similar variation, but without the CDM. So it's a more attacking formation, no CDMs, and your left backs and right backs are then marked. So when you go forward, you create that 5 striker defense, attacking line, should I say. When you're defending, you have the 5 defender line as well. Let's go straight into the custom tactics and instructions. As usual, I'm going to go through everything incrementally and explain them to you. It's very important that you understand the reasonings why I do everything. First of all, we're going to start with the defensive style. We're going with balanced. You don't want to use any of these because don't forget, when you're attacking, you only have 3 defenders. If you then lose the ball, or let's say, for example, you're trying to press and you're getting counter-attacked, the last thing you want you to do is your players to press out of position. Just use balance. Don't go towards pressure every touch. It's really not worth it. If you're maybe an Elite 1 player, Elite 2 player, maybe you can try it, but I'd honestly suggest avidly against it. You're going to use that and you're just going to get screwed. So use balanced. For the width, we've gone 1 down. Don't forget it's a 5 defender line. Don't forget the only thing is the wide areas is kind of where we're in trouble. So we don't want to be too narrow. We don't want to be too wide. And we don't want to be too wide where we have players basically making through balls or making attacking runs in between our left backs and our 3 centre backs. So what we've done is we've gone with 4. That way we're basically in a blocks. We defend in a 5 defender line and the 3 midfielders come inside and play. But also if your opponent goes down the wing, your left back and right back can neutralise those positions very, very carefully. And you won't be susceptible to through balls down the wing. For the depth, we've gone 1 more. We put it on 6 because obviously it's a more attacking formation. If you watch me on stream, I use the 3-5-2. Don't forget I do stream on twitch.tv/Neil guys. Links down below in the description. But I do use the 3-5-2 just simply because I like the left mids and right mids. The benefit of this formation is you have that cam as well. So unlike the 5-3-2, it's easier to distribute the ball forward if you leave your cam on stay forward. So that is the reasoning on why we've gone a depth on 6. Offensive style, there's 2 you can choose now. Compared to the 5-3-2, this is a more attacking formation. If you know you can't handle the attack, first of all, try long ball first. Long ball is a more slow progressive system, whereas fast ball at play, everyone goes and runs forward as soon as you get the ball. So I would say try long ball. It's a more systematic, slow progressive system. They still go forward, your left back and right backs, but they don't go as quick. Whereas fast ball at play, should I say, as soon as you get the ball, these guys just run and surge forward. For the width, we've gone with 6 because don't forget we're playing with a cam and we're playing with 2 strikers and 2 centre mids. We don't want the width to be too wide and we don't want it to be too narrow. We still want to create that system where when your left back and right back, when they go forward, they're unmarked and you're still creating that 3v2 situation in a midfield against your opponent's traditional back 4, or if they're using the 5-3-2 against you. So we're going with a width of 6. Players in the box, we brought this down to 4, but do not worry, we override this with certain instructions in some of the players. Corners and free kicks, we leave them on 1 as usual because we don't want to get counter-attacked. That is the worst thing that can happen to you, is getting counter-attacked, especially if you're up against someone who's a very good player and you deliberately concede a corner and you could be done. I'm going over to the instructions now. When I stream on Twitch, you'll see I either use the 3-5-2 or the 5-2-1-2. They're both the exact same formation. The 3-5-2 is a more stable variation where these guys are CDMs and these guys are left mids and right mids. In terms of the 5-3-2 and the 5-2-1-2, they're very, very similar. We have 1 striker on stay forward, stay central, getting behind, and you can leave this on stay forward on balanced. It's completely up to you. I'd recommend leaving 1 striker on stay forward. In this situation, my most attacking one, the fastest player on getting behind. The second striker also on stay forward, stay central. I have the attacking runs on balanced because you're going to create this 3v2 situation against your opponent's back 2. You don't want 2 players just running in behind because that means that your cam will be isolated. By leaving this guy on balanced, you basically create this line where your opponent's defense will be like this, back like this, and you'll have 1 striker here, over here, and like this. And it's easier for you to do the 1-2s or to pass the balls quickly without them just running too forward or getting in behind. So leave this on balanced. It's better that way, especially on fast build-up play. You really want one of those guys on balance. That way they're not always making runs all the time in behind. For the cam, you have 2 options: stay forward or come back in defense. If you're Elite 3 plus, you leave him on stay forward. If you're below Elite 3, you leave him on comeback and defense. That's the best way I can put it. You want him to get inside the box for a cross as well. That means when you get into a cross situation, this guy, of course, be running inside the box. That's exactly what you do want. So that's why we have gone also with, I suppose you can say, the get inside to the box. One thing I would say is do bear in mind that if you do have this on comeback and offense, you would try to create momentarily a back three, or midfield three, should I say. When you do win the ball back, and let's say you lose the ball, then that means your cam will try to come back into a 3 midfielder position. So do bear that in mind. So for defensive stability, comeback and offense is a bit better. For the 2 centre mids, we have them both on stay back while attacking, cover centre, and stand edge of the box. There's no cut passing lanes, there's no CDMs in the system, so do bear that in mind. The reason why we had them on stand edge of the box is this is important. When you're attacking, sometimes you're going to get into the situation down the wing. You're going to have your 2 strikers inside the box, your cam over here, and your left back over here. Let's say you can't make the cross, then what do? You have to recycle the ball, and you need your 2 centre mids to be outside the box. So if you're attacking your opponent, at least you can recycle the ball. Now, of course, do not get this confused. Of course, people always get this confused. This is just support for crosses. This doesn't mean when you have the ball with your cam. This means when the ball is down the wing. So it only affects the player when the ball is down the wing. So that way, if you're in a situation where you're down the wing and you've got nowhere to go, you're going to have 2 CDMs outside the box that can either A, shoot, or distribute the ball to your strikers, where you can do a first time fake shot, whatever. So it's very, very important, as imperative, leave these on stand edge of the box. Trust me, it will help you more than leaving these guys unbalanced. Once you use this formation for a long time, you will see what I mean. But do not put free roam or anything like that on your center mids. You always want them to be in the middle. Don't put them on free roam. Likewise with your cam, leave them on balance. Don't put them on free roam as you try to occupy, for example, a left mid or right mid position. You want them to create that cam central position where you create that 3v2 up against your opponents. Back 2 or back 3, depending on what formation they're playing. For the 3 centre backs and the goalkeeper, they're both on, well, goalkeeper's balanced, 3 centre backs stay back while attacking. Left back and right back are enjoying the attack, conservative interceptions and overlap. So the idea is that when, of course, you're going forward, these guys will then join the attack, and that's how you create that 5 defenders going forward, and you create that three players in the middle. And against a traditional, let's say your opponent's playing a back 4, he's basically in trouble because he's got a 3v2 and he's got a left back and right back, keeping him wide as possible. Or let's say he's using a 5 defender formation, let's say he's using a 5-3-2, you can still break through with that numerical advantage with the strikers up front. So even if you're using the 5-3-2 against you, this is basically a 5-2-on-2, which is a counter 5-3-2 as well, if you think about it, although it does have that weakness in midfield. One thing to bear in mind is, as I said, I would say if you're, let's say, below, if you're, it depends on your playstyle. If you know you're not a fast player, you don't play quickly, I would say long ball. What long ball basically means is these guys will still go forward, they just go a bit more slowly. So when you get the ball, Renato Sanchez, they won't just fly, but they'll make runs, active runs into that position, but a bit more slower. The difference with fast build-up play is as soon as you get the ball, these players are going to charge forward, the flying fullbacks. That's when they really come into play. So as soon as you get the ball, let's say you win the ball back from your opponent, these guys will completely fly forward. So if you lose the ball here, you could be very much in big trouble. So depending on your playstyle, understand what your weaknesses are. If you know, for example, you're in trouble with counterattacks, put it to long ball. If you try long ball and you think they're too slow to get forward, then try fast build-up play. That way you can try both. It's the same with the cam. Leave the cam on stay forward or leave them on comeback defense. See which one you prefer. For these positions, as usual, I would say get 2 wingers in this position. You don't need left backs and right backs because they're going to be going forward as wingers. So there's no point having defensive players in this position. Just put wingers there. I put fast wingers that got good stamina. The most important thing is fast wingers that have very good stamina is who you want in these positions. And of course, very good stamina, good agility, balance was key. And of course, high or high medium work rate is ideal, but it's not the end of the world because they're fullbacks. They're still going to come back on defense. For the 2 centre mids, you ideally want one. Let's say, for example, in a 5-2-1-2, you ideally want 1 defensive centre mid. And let's say, for example, you want 1 attacking centre mid or 1 generic centre mid. That's the kind of the way you want to line up in a 5-2-1-2. For the cam, you want basically a second striker, someone that can get in behind or get forward. And then for the 2 strikers, you just want ideally 1 agile player, someone like Ben Yedder, and someone, or I got Neymar in a situation, and someone going forward like Ronaldo. I would recommend for the back 3 to use 4 backs at centre back. I'm pretty sure now the entire community has now done what we first predicted that was going to happen, and everyone's using 4 backs centre back. It's imperative for the 5-2-1-2 use 4 backs at centre back. If you're trying to get away with some centre back that's got 70 pace or 80 pace, You're having a laugh. Good luck if you get below. Good luck if you get above anyone that's a gold 1 player, because they'll absolutely kill you in behind. So make sure you have players that are good, fast, pacey here. The very lowest I would go is a shadow on someone with 82 sprint speed. That's the lowest I would go. But above all, agility and balance is what's very, very important. If you have agility and balance, these players can maneuver, and of course, more importantly, they can react to your opponent's defenders, or your opponent's attackers, should I say, when they're going forward. But anyway, that's the formation for the 5-2-1-2. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, I do stream on twitch.tv/NoGuys. The link is down below in the description. Thanks for watching, boys. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.